We would like to introduce the mayor of the Township of Medonte. I would like to introduce His Worship, Harry Hughes, Mayor of the Township of Medonte.
Harry Hughes is honored to continue to serve as mayor for the Township of Medonte for a fourth consecutive term. In addition, Mayor Hughes served as Deputy Warden for the County of Simcoe for 4 years. He chaired the County of Simcoe Audit Committee and served as the County Council Representative to Georgian College, Aurelia Soldiers Memorial Hospital and RVH, as well as serving on a number of provincial committees, including Lake Simcoe Protection. He's also been the chair of governance committees for 2 multi-million-dollar corporations and the founding member of a local service club.
A former school principal, Mayor Hughes holds a master's degree in measurement and evaluation from U of T and a bachelor's degree from Laurier University. He has an extensive mediation expertise and is demonstrated through his experience as a superior court mediator and supervisory officer. Mayor Hughes has a strong interest in healthcare, holding previous board positions with RVH and Aurelia Soldiers Memorial Hospital. He is actively engaged with the provincially funded nurse practitioner clinic located in Medonte. Mayor Hughes has volunteered his time extensively by coaching a variety of sports teams, including hockey, ringette, and baseball. Achieving provincial championship levels, he was named Medonte Coach of the Year. He is also an inductee to the Ringette Hall of Fame. Mayor Hughes has also volunteered with the Youth Justice Committee. Mayor Hughes is proud to have led the team that ensured the integrity of the African Church in Medonte. He is also a recipient of the Canada 150 Volunteer Award, along with winning a national award for innovative use of technology. Mayor Hughes and his wife Loretta have 2 children and 3 grandchildren. Welcome to our conversation, His Worship, Harry Hughes, Mayor of the Township of Medonte.
Thank you. It's really a treat to be part of this. It's something we should have started doing a long time ago. On the introduction, as I listened to it, I thought that was an introduction that my father would be proud of to hear, and only my mother would believe. Anyway, it's been busy times, and it's really great being active in the community. I'm not going to be very lengthy, or try not to be, and I'm only going to give us a few slices of things that are going on. One of the things that happened in the pandemic, I think we all experienced the same thing. Some businesses really were hit hard. Other businesses really flourished and never have had better business, and a lot of those businesses are continuing. Some of the businesses that flourished were the ones who were able to be really innovative and make some very quick changes, and we did everything we could to support them. I want to tell you the story of one business that you may have heard of. It's MPC, that's Molded Precision Plastics, and they're located in our industrial park. This was a company that was making car parts and winning multi-million-dollar contracts, competing against companies in China and in Mexico, outdoing them. If you visited their industry when they're making the car parts, and even now, they have 3 shifts working, 7 days a week, and the only time that there's anyone in the building is during one of the 8-hour shifts in the day. Robots are working all the time during the rest of the time to produce those. So when the pandemic hit, the car industry just absolutely came to a halt. They had a huge warehouse full of parts for the car industry, and they needed to make a quick change. And they realized there was an avenue for making face shields. They designed one that was really effective, and they needed to retool their whole industry to turn that around. They did that around in 4 months, and with our help, first of all, they needed warehouse space. What we did was we had them move all their warehouse space to our arena floor in the summertime, so they got the space. We had a fire hall that we just built a new one and just moved out of, and they moved their robots that had to be programmed by Georgian College students to that fire hall. they employed, I believe, 30 more employees in that short length of time. And now that the face shield industry is flooded, their multi-million contract is done, they are now have retooled once again to make the containers for the hand sanitation, which is a huge, huge industry. And they're just ready to open their new building to show the production of that. So we work hand in hand with an industry like that. In addition to that they have bought across from the airport 100 acres of land, and they, along with another partner, are working towards setting up a health innovation or a medical innovation area where their objective is to be able to have a pandemic strikes again or it continues. They want to be the one-shop place that all the pandemic supplies can be purchased, even with the lofty goal of being able to produce vaccine. And they're located right across from the Lake Simcoe Airport. So that's the kind of thing that sort of booms out of the end. It came as a company that was willing to pivot, but at the same time, our township jumped in to help them in every area that we could. The other thing that we all adapted to was Zoom in a hurry. I believe we were one of the first municipalities to use multimedia or the Zoom platform to be able to continue with our business at the township. The other thing that we've done extensively, we have an economic development roundtable where a number of businesses sit on it to help us out with giving advice and us helping them work through some of their issues to expand. During the pandemic, one of the hardest hit industries that it was very frustrating. We did a lot of leadership to try to help them with their situation, and that was the ski industry. Even though we have two major ski resorts in Medonte, that's Horseshoe Valley and Mount St. Louis. And even though they had extensive plans there, the amount of season that they were able to get last year was very limited. But it appears that things have all working through with the government and working with having the plans in place. It appears that they're going to have the opportunity to move forward this year with all their things, which is really great news because the number of employees that are involved in those two industries were absolutely tremendous. The other thing we did to help out businesses and promote Shop Local was that our staff have worked with the Chamber of Commerce. In other words, instead of being sort of two separate operations, they worked hand in hand with the businesses. They went around and wrote up, had a business do a blog, do a feature on them. And then we did it on social media to help people know where they could go to get supplies and to shop local. Not only did we post it on websites and that sort of thing, they actually had a couple of commercials on TV for advertising. That made a tremendous difference to some of our industries. But we just had a microbrewery that just opened as a pandemic, and we really were concerned about that. But what happened was that their business was also another one that boomed. They actually ran out of supplies from time to time because of I guess the demand and people being able to go and pick it up at the door. In Medonte, we have a huge demand for industrial land. We are in the rare position of having to turn away industries that are wanting to locate new in Medonte because the province has limits on the amount of industrial land that we're allowed to create. And secondly, we have, from the pandemic, we have businesses that have really boomed and are wanting to expand. And they're so constrained, they can't find the zoned land to be able to do that. Norwood Saws, for example, is one of them that is really taken off during this time. So that has occurred. And we have some new companies moving into some industrial land. We were finally able to free up. I won't go into the issues that has tied that up for a long time. And one of the frustrations, of course, that's happening right now, a number of companies that have finally got the go ahead to be able to, in the zoning of the land, they are really pushing hard to be able to get their footings in the ground so that they can do the building during the winter and open their new business. Some of these, 2 or 3 of these businesses in that industrial park right now are going to employ from probably over 60 to 70 employees. So they are companies that have businesses in other provinces. So on the front for that, the frustration for that has been time getting through all the red tape and those aspects that go with it. One of the areas that we have is experienced a tremendous frustration, which is really promising, is the 200-acre industrial park that we had across from the airport, which we had. It was economic development. It had a condition on it that prevented the operator from moving ahead. We got an MZO to remove that condition. Everything looked like it was moving along well until the owner encountered the conservation authorities, and there's a real difficulties going on there. Where right now they are wanting $3.2 million from him for him to be able to go ahead and advance. He's being held up, and we are working with the province and everywhere we can to get that moving, because that 200 acres is virtually almost all spoken for companies that are wanting to come in and develop there. So on that horizon, things really look good. The other thing that we have in Medonte is that we have 650 kilometers of roads that most of them are all paved. Once those roads were paved, the number of home industries that have opened up has absolutely been tremendous. The difficulty we've run into, though, is with getting internet services. We formed an internet connectivity committee, and it's been a real boon for being able to have the knowledge and to capitalize on every opportunity. Because of all the hills and trees in Medonte, we have a difficult time with our complete black areas where you can't get connectivity at all. Secondly, some of the connectivity that was there is disappearing. We were able to get a huge chunk of the SWIFT grant that was assisted through the county of Simcoe. A lot of that, unfortunately, has gone to the larger companies, Bell and Rogers. And rather than spreading that out, what they've done is they've taken that money and they're putting fiber. Both of them are putting fiber in the same areas, which is a bit of a consternation, instead of trying to work out the areas that don't have suitable services at all. So we're working on that, and we've mapped. We have a map all worked out of the areas where there is service, where there's not. So people buying will know, and we can work and channel our efforts to try and develop that. We also, on the horizon, when it came to schools, I heard Nina mention schools. We're in the process now of having a new school built in Horseshoe Valley, where we have partnered with the school board to build a community hall on that school. We also were into a situation where the school board was going to close one of our rural schools, and that is a tremendous blow to smaller communities. And we actually were able to work with the province to be able to get extra funding to be able to save that school. So we're going to, that was something that seemed to be remarkable that when we started out, we didn't think we could achieve. The The other things have happened, just to highlight from the farmers market, that coming out of the pandemic, on Canada Day, the Chamber of Commerce decided to work with the township and the fair board to open a farmers market, and they opened it on Canada Day. That was a first day that people seemed to be able to get outside and interact with masks. And on that Canada Day, we had about 2,000 people show up there. So that was a real kickoff. That market has been going, and it just closed down just recently. It's been a tremendous success. And I guess the aspect of it, looking at probably one of the question marks is, where's all our workers gone? I'll tell you that Mark's presentation has an explanation probably to explain that. What has happened, I believe, is that the CERB has allowed people who have lost their jobs or been unable for whatever reason to be able to have the foundation to be innovative and start their own businesses. If you look around and see the number of people that were working for someone else who have now started their own business, it's been, those numbers are really significant, and they're probably in our communities in numbers that we don't recognize. So I'm going to stop there because I know I've probably taken over my time, but I see us emerging from the pandemic. We're going to emerge very strongly, I believe, because of the pent-up demand. But I also believe that the key to our success moving forward is the number of people we get vaccinated, so that we actually can get back to to as close as normality as we can. By the way, I proudly boast in Medonte right now, we have 93% of our population who've had both vaccinations, which I believe is the highest anywhere. And it looks like the government is now going to open up for children from 5 to 12, which is very promising.